Matt, biological age 31, born 1987. As a teen, Matt trained towards his dream of increasing his intelligence artificially. For reasons he never quite understood, he was bullied relentlessly by his classmates. He attempted to repress his rage, but there was irreversible damage done to compassion centers of the brain. As an adult, Matt worked as an IT technician restarting things, which meant he didn't have much time to pursue his transhumanist dreams or his passion for programming. With past abuse of both alcohol and smoke leaf, combined with mental trauma, Matt suffers from anxiety. By his peers, he is labeled as a psychopathic transhumanist who will consume human flesh to survive, is cool under pressure, and is generally upbeat. He is a fast learner and has a great memory. Nick, biological age 38, born 1980. As a teen, Nick was a passionate athlete who cared little for fame or money. He was always the first to take the blame as he cared little of others' perceptions. As an adult, Nick was a warrior in the military, a paratrooper of the 82nd Airborne, later to be promoted to both squad leader and assistant medic. With a kill count of over 30, including suicide bomber children, this has had long-lasting effects emotionally, and the gunshots have affected hearing in his left ear. Nick takes more time to aim, but is far more accurate than others. He never works out, but somehow is always able to outrun others. He is tough as nails. Ash, biological age 29, born 1989. Ash grew up embracing the farm her family was raised on, but dreamed of escaping to the big city to perform on Broadway. After working on the farm as a farmhand and in the theater industry, she continues to survive serving one martini at a time, through which she has gained quite the alcohol tolerance. Ash has always been emotionally driven, and is a bleeding heart animal rights activist and professed vegan feminist, though she has yet to embrace CrossFit or Steve Jobs as a savior. Ash has a tendency to let her emotions drive her crazy and is prone to mental breaks, but is a very hard worker. Being outdoors seems to put her mind at ease. Nick, Ash, and Matt are woken abruptly to wild sparks and chaotic hissing tubes. The emergency alarm echoes in the large cryo-sleep chambers. After thousands of years in suspended animation, their eyes focus on the planet beneath them. The escape pods activate. The passengers lose consciousness once again, and then with a sudden jolt, the pods claw their way into the soil of this foreign planet. With the pods having completely disintegrated, they find their way to their feet. Some puking what is left of their last meal, they search for supplies nearby. This region of the planet is barren of life, it seems. All but a few snow hares with barely enough meat for a single meal. Plans to leave this place are already forming in the hazy minds of this crash-landed family. Noting the freezing temperatures during the summer season, the survivors begin constructing a crude shack, what little supplies they have gathered nearby. Luckily, they have found enough metal scrap from the wrecked ship to begin to build a wind turbine and heaters. As they have landed with no clothes, food, or even wood for construction, they set out to claim their first meal. In these extreme circumstances, something as minor as a small cut or bruise can quickly turn into a deadly infection. Ash quickly bandages herself and secures her first kill. While hunting in the nude may seem like fun, it can cause frostbite to form on body parts. Matt ensures that he is safe for now. With the wind turbine and heater complete, the family can get their first night's rest. They chose to sleep on the snow-covered ground instead of the cold steel research bench like civilized human beings. Things seem to be going well so far for them. With all things considered, nothing can go wrong now. With the snow hares butchered and eaten, Matt has almost finished the plans for constructing their first battery. This will allow them to maintain a warm shack when the wind has died down. A human from another region has entered this frozen hellhole. Perhaps he has warm clothes and food to trade. With no silver to trade with, well, the family didn't actually check to see if the trader was even willing to trade. They have decided that there is no time to waste. They will surround this Karma individual and take what they can. This family has managed to secure their first human kill. They have clothing to protect them from the elements, doobies, weapons, silver, food, and even medical supplies. After bandaging themselves, they consume what is called pemmican, a long-lasting preserved mashed mixture of fat and plant food. It tastes bland, but not offensive. Ash, not satisfied with the taste of pemmican, has decided to resort to cannibalism. It is not known whether some simple spices or salt and pepper would have deterred her from this action. This will definitely have a poor impact on the morale of the group. After eating raw human flesh, Ash decides we should give this frozen sea ice chunk a name. Matt has decided to call it Struggle Tree. With the severe lack of trees and the large struggle to survive here, he found the name fitting. Nick has opted to call their banded family Moonglow, after the Shadowbane guild he formed with Matt earlier. Ash, conflicted about her rabbit and human-eating veganism, has become sad. Though this could be caused by German seasonal depression, it is not known. On the bright side, Ash has the opportunity to hunt another rabbit with pointy fangs hell-bent on human flesh. Perhaps it is jealous of Ash. The colonists, not yet satisfied with their self-loathing, have decided to start off the morning with a quick doobie and more human flesh. With no wildlife or unfortunate wanderers nearby, it is time to think about packing up and moving on to warmer areas. there was a slight disagreement about whether there should be names drawn on Thanksgiving for the Christmas party, or if we should do a white elephant. Nothing to see here. While Matt was visibly disappointed that there was indeed not a large black man named Greyland coming to the area to provide assistance, the man in black was indeed still very helpful. After the family found out about Tom's odd foot fetish, he was cast out into the cold to die a miserable death. And possibly a later food source. After gleefully finishing hydroponics research, which could eventually end their need to eat raw human flesh, the idea of thinking of eating raw human flesh entered Matt's mind and made him crave it. Nick, discovering the difference between wild-grown weed and potent green crack, has become fascinated with the plant. Matt, noticing that Ash has closed the door, creating a sauna in the metal hut, decides to save her from heat stroke. Matt, due to poor mood, also decides to partake in the lung cancer-causing plant. Still safer than alcohol, though. With food reserves low again, Matt decides the short bow is inaccurate, and will hunt with a revolver. Most revolvers have a cylinder that holds 6 rounds. This gun is special. Matt and Ash, with food reserves running low once again and starvation setting in, decide to hunt the only wildlife available in the area. Matt calls upon Ash's assistance due to both of their poor health while they are still injured, while Ash is not doing well in the cold temperatures. Matt decides to give up one of his pieces of clothing. It's too bad that Nick is incapacitated at the time, because they could severely use his help right now. As we have seen earlier, Matt's accuracy is not the best. This is a do or die situation for the family. If they do not secure this kill, they starve for the winter. The bear, after being shot nearly 20 times, decides it has had enough and defends itself. It is quickly dispatched, as it was nearly dead already. This is a major victory for the colony. As Matt and Ash are starving, they consume the bear on the spot, saving what is left for Nick when they arrive back at the base. Matt has finished constructing a grow light for future crops, and has begun construction on the hydroponics basin. This will provide the base for an ever-expanding garden of rice, potatoes, and corn. Eventually, they can even produce plants with healing properties. Visitors from a nearby friendly tribe have wandered into the area and are willing to trade. While Matt is finishing construction of a third wind turbine, an enemy approaches from the southeast. The attacker does not realize he is walking into a 1 vs 6 fight, where the 6 have long-range weapons and he has a club. Big T goes down. While standing over Big T's wounded body, Nick and Dubs make a quick trade and remove the clothing from Big T. He won't be needing it any longer. While the hydroponics are finished and the crops are planted, they aren't quite ready for harvest, and the meals traded for earlier have been consumed. It looks like human flesh is back on the menu. Ash has gone berserk and will attack anyone she sees. Apparently, eating human flesh has not sat well with her. With an awful case of bad luck, the first crop has been struck by blight, and if the family is not careful, it will spread and destroy everything that has been planted. They needed triple the amount of food planted in order to sustain themselves. Much like the polar bear from earlier, the food from this alien mega sloth is much needed. With malnutrition and pain-wrenching hunger, this meat is crucial. This will not be an easy fight. The mega sloth has large claws and a thick hide. Even a large caliber revolver will have a hard time bringing this beast down. With one bow and one revolver, Nick and Matt devise a plan. Due to increasing hunger and malnutrition, they do not have time to set up traps. Nick, being the tougher of the two, switches places, taking the brunt of the attack. The beast falls, but not without badly injuring both of these hunters. They will need time to bandage, or they will bleed out. Nick has 5 hours to live, if he does not act fast. Although the beast is down, nothing has been consumed, and Matt falls into a daze of hunger. He will not be able to help Nick or bandage himself until he snaps out of it. A raider from an enemy tribe has entered from the south, directly on top of the area where the mega sloth has been slain. With Matt in a daze and Nick badly injured, this does not look good. It seems the raider is moving straight towards Nick. It appears that the raider is not interested in such a badly wounded colonist. Lucky break for Nick. Perhaps he will have time to bandage. Unfortunately, this also means the base is at risk of being torn apart. Ash has come out of her mental break. She will have to make a tough call, assuming Nick can bandage himself before collapsing from loss of blood, assume Matt will snap out of his mental break to help Nick in time, or to attempt to save the base from the raider and take him on alone. With little choice, Ash decides to make a mad dash towards Nick, who has collapsed and is bleeding out. Even if she reaches him in time, she only has minutes to save his life. Ash has arrived and has little time to spare. She creates a temporary space to treat Nick's wounds and begins to do whatever she can to help. Unfortunately, she is very inexperienced in tending wounds and will take more time than usual. The raider has begun his assault and will destroy the base. Even if they survive, they may not have a warm place to heal and stave off hypothermia, as well as having the possibility of losing their crops. Ash has tended 2 of Nick's wounds out of 8, and he will bleed out in 30 minutes at this rate. She will need to successfully bandage another wound quickly to stop the bleed out. Due to Ash's poor bandaging and cold weather, Nick now has an infection. Seconds away from stopping the bleeding, Nick dies. Due to Ash's starvation, she grabs the closest source of food nearby, which is Nick, and consumes his head and his leg. Nick, dead. Matt, dazed. Ash, cannibalized Nick. The base, in shambles. Ash decides she will end this madness and murder the raider, but is suddenly struck with fear and attempts to flee. The raider knocks Ash to the ground and attempts to carry her back to his camp. Ash recovers from the blunt blow of the club and manages to escape the grasp of the raider. The raider flees back to his village. Due to extreme cold and starvation, Matt has fallen unconscious. The raider seizes the opportunity and drags Matt back to his camp. Spaghetti Monster only knows what the raider will do with him. Ash, obviously in shock of the situation, decides to go to sleep. She is woken by the question in her mind: did we even need to hunt the Mega Sloth, or did we have enough food to live another day to avoid all of this?